I see you looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. One time from side to side.
to Hui. But Teals played pretty well on the pick. Yes, it wasn't like an outstanding performance, but you could see why this pick is valuable. I don't think the pick is bad. I just think your players need to be very practiced on it, and it looked like Teals was, so I'm a little more comfortable with that as the outcome. So coming into this next one, you saw Masuf pretty much uncontested. I don't want to see that to happen again. I really want Alpha Day on some sort of carry or maybe even just full tank. Yes, Gragas is a more of a disruptor tank, not like a full frontline tank. similar to like an Ornn, for instance, or Cassante. But obviously, those were banned in the last one as far as the Cassante is concerned. And the Renekton, which is a traditional, very strong pick for Alpha Day, just got banned out as well. So, you know, bunch of questions here for TWF. Where is their classic combos? The Vi Ari, stuff like the Syndra we saw a lot last time as well. Just to be able to burst out fights. Instead, they went for this Jarvan Galio, which, yes, in team fights, very powerful, does extremely well into the Xayah, but you're just over-indexed at that point into this combo. And if it doesn't work out, you're kind of let loose. And, you know, you could have done stuff such as, like, Jarvan Ori, but you locked in the Galio first, so it's not as simple as that. I mean, they definitely put themselves in a bit of a tough position. TWF going to stay on the red side. Obviously, no bans here for IDF on 1 and 2. We'll just reiterate it again. They're winning 2-1 in the grand finals of Vanquisher League, down 2 bans every game.
Only 3. Very, very tough, and could make this just ever more impressive. And I'm with you, Golden Gad. Get too cute with the falling in love with the romanticizing of ult combinations, direct counters. Forgot about what's really at heart of League Legends. I mean, it's the description of one of the best items. Tons of damage, Triforce, right? Let's just get a damage comp going here for the winning formula. See if we can hands dip. I'd like that rather than picking no damage and a lethality Varus. That just hurt to watch. So we'll see how they bounce back.
I was pretty surprised to see lethality Varus. It's going to be Hui again at this point.
Favorite,
yes, they are spitting in my face. It's fine. I get it. This time, I hope it still goes to Teals, because Teals, hey, I'm going to say it how it is. Teals look better than Kami. I'm going to put it out there. And then it's going to be the Orianna lock-in immediately. That opens up the Nocturne. You could actually just slam the Ori Nocturne right here, and Hui's life is going to become a lot more difficult. This combo was extremely powerful, and because you lack 2 bans for IDF, you can't ban out that combo pretty much at all. It's just not something you can afford. So they're going to go for the Ori Rel, something that's been consistent for them with Helper on Rel. They're going to keep it going. So now they have a ball delivery system. Maokai going to continue being what Ibeon Godly likes to play, especially into Rel. Does have a bit of mitigation on the engage there, but Helper's been able to navigate that pretty well in these last couple games, and it's going to be the Ashe, so something that's been notably absent.
We remember this champion exists. My lord. It's been unbanned, unpicked.
The power pick of all of Vanquisher, in my opinion, was unpicked for 4 games in finals.
All right, Alpha Day back on the Cassante. I was going to make a point that we've been lacking as many tanks as I would expect in a meta where some of those tank items are just disgusting. But Cassante has been one of the proponents that has made it through that logic. They ban away the Gwen. I like it. You can pick the Cassante, you ban away the Gwen. Finally, we're going to start just pinching Zohair's pool, but I guess they're looking Golden Gad for Ori combos a bit more necessarily than the Zohair-esque champions. But I'd still like this to be Xin Zhao. Still like this to be Nocturne. Maybe even a Viego shout. Oh, there you go.
Gonna be the Nocturne. I mean, it's just such a solid combo, and everyone has seen TWF win with this combo. I feel like it was a pretty safe ban. They could still go for something like the Vi. That is another easy point-and-click ball delivery option. They're gonna go for the Kai'Sa, which showed some big proficiency, but that is a hard matchup for bot lane there. Kai'Sa into Ashe, not exactly so easy. You have to find a good engage with Helper, and if there's anyone to do it, it is Helper. So I'll have to see how that goes. And it's going to be Mordekaiser, a kind of classic counter pick into the Cassante. I like to see that because you really found another way to get the advantage in the top side. Instead of the Gwen, you have the Mordekaiser. Yes, it's not going to be the split push threat, but you will have the 1v1 pretty much guaranteed.
I love this. I love this end on the blue side for IDF. They take away Xin Zhao as well, so the most comfortable champion for Zohair. Is that a Kha'Zix lock-in? Yo. That's got to be the worst R5 of the series. I'm sorry. No way. Into Mord, Maokai, Xin Zhao? We're playing Kha'Zix?
W Max?
Oh.
W evolve first,
Don't
maybe?
even get started. I don't want to hear that sentence, actually.
I could play that. I played that before if there's like 5 tanks, but I'm first picking Kha'Zix when that happens. I'm not saving it till R5 and I see Hui, who has an interrupt, Maokai, who has an interrupt, Xin Zhao, who has an interrupt, and Mordekaiser, who can click R on you. I'm confused.
Whew.
You know, this is almost as bad as the Lee Sin pick in the last series, and they didn't win that game.
I just like to point out, you can see on your screen our official partner of the Tiny Sports, Pro Comps, who I hope will grade this Kha'Zix harshly. Pro Comps, free for anybody to use at home. Over 200,000 downloads, live in-game draft advice. Helps you with your builds, helps you craft a perfect composition to dominate solo queue, team play, all of the above. And you can see Pro Comps giving the stamp of approval over to IDF on championship point. And you got to think that some of that is levied at this Kha'Zix pick. I will not shut up.
For sure. I mean, Cassante and Orianna, traditionally very favorable with the Pro Comps prediction. So seeing it this far in favor of IDF is quite surprising. And yeah, I really do think it comes down to Kha'Zix, because I don't even think Kha'Zix beat Mordekaiser when isolated. Unless you get out to a very heavy lead, it's going to be a lot on the weight of this bug.
It would be really funny if we had a Galio on the other team. Remember, squashed like a bug. It's a bug.
Come back.
All right, well, I can hear a very loud Quack screaming out in happiness somewhere in the world.
I did think of that, yeah, for sure.
But I also would believe in my heart of hearts that Quacks would, if you guys
Cry,
don't know,
maybe?
I think you'd call this a bad pick as much as he loves Kha'Zix. Big time Kha'Zix proponent. We'll see how it operates. I am intrigued to watch how Zohair can pilot this. Look for those avenues. Gotta think he's just gonna be trying to gank maybe mid and bot mostly. I just don't see how you punish Mordekaiser. It feels very limited in what you can create. But you gotta have to get going early here, Golden Gad, with how Kha'Zix needs to snowball.
So have you ever heard of a Kha'Zix ball delivery system? You
Invis
click
hopping?
R.
Okay.
No, you go invis. It's kind of like Twitch ball delivery system. Have you heard of that one? That's all I got, to be honest.
We'll see how it plays out. There's a reason we're here yapping over the gameplay. And Zohair's out there gaming. Masu able to get a level advantage into Alpha Day. Just going to bully him off the wave. This is where Mordekaiser becomes really impressive, when he can just channel his W a ton of times, stack up the health, and, well, just go for trade like these. Conqueror proc, that isolated Q damage is
-1.
so tough. That's a tough -1 as well.
Yeah, wasn't able to get back over to it, but I will say, at least in the mid lane here, quality player on a bit of a better matchup here. Orianna does extremely well to Hui. She's just at the right range where Hui becomes a bit awkward to play. So that's at least a good sign. Joby wants to find Kha'Zix on this blue buff, and will do so for sure. Just hanging out the question mark. Definitely did spot him. Joby's now going to walk forward, wants to take this blue buff away, and kind of neutralize the early game for the Kha'Zix.
That is a 3 buff coming in for Joby. He's going to be able to get his red buff for free. And here's the other matchup that we're worried about. Kami doing really good to play around. Turn aggro. Joby wants to go for it all. He doesn't go for the last auto. He gives the kill over to Abion Godly, but it still works out. The tree gets cut down, but it's 2 opening kills with IDF sniffing a championship glory.
And every single day of the week, you are saying worth for Abion Godly there. Does go down in the process, but getting your Xin Zhao ahead in a matchup that's not so easy for Kha'Zix is definitely beneficial. Zohair at least going to be able to trade out on the Gromp, but maybe Joby finds mid.
Another play for Joby. Flash committed for quality player, but that's a key summoner that Joby will have to take note of.
Zohair on a ward. Gets spotted out, now getting collapsed on. Has flash.
Oh boy. Hops gonna flash over the claw. Good to get out, but these are very punishable summoners that are unavailable as this early game moves forward.
Yeah. And we get a replay here on the bot side. Exactly how it started off. Helper just kind of getting kited around. And Kami, I mean, I said how hard this matchup is. Kaisa Ashe, definitely not easy. And Joby smells blood in the water, flashes over. Knows that Ibeon Godly will finish the kill. Doesn't overcommit to take any more extra turret shots. And Ibeon Godly does go down, but you'll say worth every day. Especially as a Maokai. Your deaths really do not matter, I'll tell you that.
That's why I appreciate our production team for this grand final showing that replay, because in the bang play of that dive, right, it looks like Joby 1 auto short. Why aren't we committing for the kill? But like you pointed out, you want to let your support sacrifice themselves. Even if you don't get all the kills, They're able to get back on the Rift, clear those camps, stay up, which is much more important.
Yeah, they got quality players flash out of basically allowing that tempo to continue, and then snowballed that into Zohair's flash getting burned as well from a nice ward by Masuf's, just understanding that Kha'Zix is going to get desperate, lost the blue buff on the bot side, going to be looking for any rogue camps to take. So I'd say pretty impressive stuff here for IDF. 1k gold up now.
A lot of that in Joby. Bit of that in the CS lead that's really starting to amount for Kami. You pointed it out how difficult this Kaisa matchup is. Kami is up double CS currently with another wave crashing in. It's just going to open up Joby's ability. I mean, he can play for this first dragon solo with ease if he wants.
Yeah, Alpha Day trying to trade into top, but it's so hard to cut through when Mordekaiser has the shielding and the healing required to kind of out-trade K'Sante consistently.
He's going to push forward here after a Q misses. Claw not going to land, but you'll see Masuf. I mean, this is, you're calling it out, the bait of the Mordekaiser. Bam, shield for 400 HP, heals 200 of it back, and you just rinse and repeat that on the minion waves. It's tough for Alpha Day to really deal with.
Yeah, and Kha'Zix also not getting out to a good tempo means you can't just... So typically when you see Kha'Zix, you expect some sort of trade on the objectives here, because surprisingly, Kha'Zix one of the few champions that could actually take Dragon as fast as the enemy junglers take Grubs, because usually Grubs is a lot quicker. But that's not actually the tail for this one, as Joby might be able to just get a full clean sweep on these early objectives.
That clutch hawk shot, our favorite non-damage ultimate in the game, Golden Gad from Kami,
Yeah.
spots Zohair out on the red buff. So even more intel over to Joby. See the pings coming down with the mid lane prio. Gotta think they're not just gonna go for the scuttle here. I'd expect at least one grub stolen away, if not more. Especially with the way Masuf is starting to take over this top side. Really forcing Alpha Day back, constantly off the wave.
Yeah, K'Sante with a cloth armor in pocket, which is pretty surprising, but maybe just going for an early Jack show potentially. Not entirely sure. There's a lot of options you can actually go with a mixed profile there, but there is a lot of MR. I'd expect Merc Treads to at least be the first item here, so that should be what they end up going for, and they're going to grab up the first two objectives of the game, and IDF is really coming out to a great start on this one, but once again, don't count your chickens till they hatch, especially in this series. I mean, it's been back and forth, and really it's who overextends harder.
Just so hard to play back from, you know, goal deficit's one thing. For me, lack of neutrals early in this new game of League, especially important to talk about what the future of League looks like with how many neutral objectives people are going to be able to play for. But already down 3 grubs, already down to Drake, it just limits all that playmaking ability, and it's really reinforced when we once again emphasize that Kha'Zix is a champion that is so painful to play when behind, and so awesome when they're able to snowball ahead.
Yeah, they're now going to be looking for a bit of attention on the bot side. They're going to clear out the wards. They don't have a sweeper for that one, but the hawk shot comes through.
So hair spotted, still looking to commit here. No ultimate available for Helper, and the flash wave and the crash down. Gonna nullify any gank here. Kami stays safe and is even confident enough to walk right back up to the wave as it pushes into him.
Yeah, Zohair just going for traditional Q evolve on the first evolution, so should have a bit more dueling power, maybe potentially able to burst out Kami, which I assume is going to be the Kha'Zix's main target throughout this game.
Wow, respect flash from Arcadius. Still has the cleanse for an arrow that comes across Nature's Grasp. Is going to have to take out the first charge. You can just fire the arrow. That's the CC lockdown. The tenacity will allow Arcadius to get out and push the Killer Instinct through, but it's just not enough. A double up in the bot side. Zohair looking for something back in the enemy jungle. Does have that isolated damage and does commit, showing why the Kha'Zix had to come out with everything on the board.
Quality player. I think that was a 1+1 on the ball delivery of the Kha'Zix onto Joby there. Actually able to find the damage. Now Teals in a kind of bad position.
As flash. Zohair looking for more isolated damage, but wants to respect Teals' kit, knowing his mid laner is far too low.
Yeah, I will say Teal's fortunate enough that a minion wave did come through, but here's a replay on the bot side. A nice W forward from IB Godly actually neutralizes the Q from Helper. And right here I was a little bit worried because the damage was split, but they had enough for Arcadius to go down And then Helper tries to walk back in to save the AD carry there, and actually does go down. Zohair able to rat away, get the flash Q, get back some of that gold into their own pocket. So that's actually a pretty good sign here for them, but it's still a bit worrying, especially because of how far down Arcadius is in this game compared to how he's been all series.
A real standout in that sub spot. Ooh, Ami Agali slips under the rel, but wasn't accounting for Zohair being nearby. Kazakh's gonna leap forward. Good. Grounded pen for Abiya Godly. He's able to slip out, and Kami's damage is much to be respected. Flashes galore. Kami pops the barrier. Quality player swinging over, but Kami, he's just trying to take down as many champions as he can, but falls flat with a blinking health bars galore. Shut down 1-for-1 back for the winning formula.
Almost extremely worrying. If Kami gets, I think if Kami just focuses Kazakhs there instead of trying to take down the Kaisa, potentially could have just traded out that one. Quality player trying to get back to the wave. Not going to worry too much. At least Hui got a bit on the turret gold there. Alpha not able to knock Masoop back into the turret, and now is low HP with Joby in the top side. Next wave will be cut off a bit early, so it's not going to be such a comfortable dive if they do go for it.
Alpha Day maybe sniffing this out. Already wants to just force a reset. It's a tough one. Should lose some plates and some CS, but wise given his health bar.
Oh, just going to stick around. Sees Din Zhao maybe. Potentially the grubs are coming up not too long from now. Masoop's going to walk down and secure those. Drag is up now, so they have a bit of a game to play through here. Zohair going to try and take the Drake in the face of IDF's bot lane, but with the man advantage should be secured. So 1-for-1, at least trading back over towards TWF. They get something in this early game where it seemed like IDF might just come away with it. Zohair finally on the board.
But this is what we talked about when Joby was able to grab the first batch of Drake and Grubs. You're happy to make this trade. You'll take full mites available for IDF and even Dragon count. Obviously, you can tell where the priorities lie for Joby as the Ash Arrow from downtown snipes out. Quality players, Power and Despair. He's trying to hold the flash. Shockwave flash, masterfully done. Dodges the Severing Bolt. Great job to keep yourself up, Quality.
Yeah, big Ash Arrow there. I'm surprised Hui didn't have the E up. Could have just layered the CC with EW, but potentially didn't have that up to actually just secure that kill for sure. Quality player lucky to get away with just flash.
Masoop really holding on to this Death Realm. Alpha Day goes into the All Out and has completely shifted the tempo topside, soloing out Masoop. We're not expecting the matchup swinging that hard in his favor.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised to see the Mordekaiser ult not come out immediately after K'Sante burns All Out to cut through all those stats that he does gain from All Out. A little bit of a misplay, doesn't hit any of the Qs that you need to hit in that matchup, and that's a pretty worrying sign there, since Masoop is supposed to be that isolated side lane against the K'Sante.
I was wondering if he was worried about the gotcha K'Sante move can do if he goes unstoppable when you ult him. It cancels the Death Realm call, but yeah, like you called out, W's used multiple times in that exchange.
Yeah, you just have to go for it at some point, and you can't.
Yes.
I think if you don't, you just die, as we saw. So, unfortunately, not going to be able to survive that one. At the very least, it's not end of the world. Still up 2K basically for IDF here, and they do have the objective advantage so far with those 6 grubs.
Looks like it's going to be steel caps for Masoop. Interesting. I feel like Merc Treads get a lot of value here into the comp playing. Nobody's got Merc Treads really into the winning formula. Crash down from Helper, throws him a bit far forward. Luckily, he's got Zohair and Quality Player nearby who have really made it a point to cover this bot side ever since Kami started reeling away in the 2v2. They might look for a regank here. Zohair using the invisibility. There's the ball delivery system we were talking about. Invis, Shockwave, pack your bags, Kami.
I can't believe I actually did put some thought into that, but at the same time, it was definitely a throwaway thought. Kazakh's actually pulling it off on the bot side, but TES is just taking the mid lane tier 2. This is taking a ton of damage due to that 6 grubs advantage, and Ori can be a little bit scared to come back over. Has the blast plant to at least get through, and just gonna be able to clear up this wave. But Hui almost taking down the entirety of that turret.
Entirety nearly cut down. Still a prominent gold lead for IDF, but the kill count being neutralized, and most importantly, Zohair finding some tempo. Very critical to the winning formula. Want to force us to a do or die game 5. And it's the two-man equality player in Zohair teaming up once more. Joby has to use that Crescent Guard just to respect the two's power.
Now, one interesting call out build wise, I'm seeing a Symbiotic Souls on this Kha'Zix, so gonna be going for a lot of resets, trying to match the map pressure that Joby's been putting out, and you don't really see that too often on these junglers, especially when I kind of think he needs the stats to be able to survive some of these carries, even if you do find them on a flank. But you will be able to move extremely fast since you will have both Moby Boots and the blue pet as well.
Yep. Ooh, Helper. Face checking and Tribe Rush. Getting pounded down by Joby. Should fall even though the Ash Arrow goes wide. Zohair trying to hop to safety, but Teals could cut off the ankle. Doesn't look like he had the combos up. Joby flashing aggressively. Wants Zohair shut down. One more Q gets the knockup. They've got the slows. One behind Lightning gets the job done for IDF as we are just leaning full skirmish all across this game.
Yeah, still hasn't popped the ult. Wants to save it for when the all-out does get popped. Alpha Day fighting.
When are we going to see the Death Realm? Is his R key broken? Alpha Days isn't there. We finally see him pull him into the Death Realm after the all-out, like you called out, Golden Gad. Good flash from Alpha Day to get away from the Claw. Will drop out of the Death Realm. Arrives back to Summoner's Rift, and both top laners tentatively walk away until Alpha Day wants to use the rest of that all-out form. He goes back into mini form, or tankier form, whatever you want to call it, eats another claw. This passive from Mordekaiser and Masuf gets his sweet revenge, but the action rolls on as Teals looks to be potentially caught in the mid lane. Drops Smiling Despair, has his Maokai behind him to create the CC buffer, and now Kami flashing forward, breaking golden rule number 1 of your 80 carry marksman role, but it won't matter with how he cleans it up across the board. That's 4 kills from top to mid for Iridescent Dawn Frozen.
Yeah, IDF, they're doing such a good job, and now since they cracked tier 2 mid so early, they actually can threaten the inhibitor here, which, I mean, if there's anything familiar, it's 17 minutes inhibitor here. They probably will just peel off.
That's a new record. Yeah, good call out.
Yeah, not going to be able to get the full inhib like TWF did in game 1, or game 2, excuse me. It's been so long now. I'm losing it. But yeah, I mean, this is so far a pretty dominant performance here for IDF. They're up 7k gold at just 18 minutes in. So let's check a replay on what happened in mid. So Helper finds Teals with the help of the Shockwave, but the damage is not there. And with the slowing from the Unending Despair, it means that they can't really follow through. And great use of the QE to actually kind of isolate out that target. Really what Hui does so well. And then also on top of that, Kami flashing forward, finds the damage. No real big threat now that the Shockwave is down and the Kha'Zix's not in the area. So, yeah, it's a pretty well played there. Hawk Shot, best ability in the game. That's not an ultimate.
Non-damage ability.
Non-damaging. I mean, even among damaging, it's still pretty good.
Pretty critical. Unique. It's nice to see with how much League has evolved and how many crazy abilities. Everyone makes the jokes of the paragraph-long ability explanations that Hawkshot, it's been around for over a decade now, still is just as pivotal as it's always been.
Yeah.
So is that Ash Arrow. Oh, Alpha Day. Does he need a haircut? Because he might have just got one from the Ash Arrow. He's getting a Buzzsaw right now with the rest of IDF. Uses the all-out to create some distance. Eating up a ton of pretty important ultimates and able to survive.
Yeah, didn't get Ash Arrowed, which would have definitely possibly ended Alpha Day's life there. Gonna get rooted up now. Gonna take a lot of damage from this way, but not gonna be enough. There's no % max HP damage on that QW, unlike the QQ, so not gonna be as impactful. Zohair looking for the fight.
Whoa, what a crushing mob. Both mages trading their entire kits, but it's the gold difference for IDF that comes out on top. Zohair will find one back, and quality player has to watch his entire team crumbles. IDF supremacy. I can hear the victory bells starting to ring in the distance.
Nice fight there. I mean, that you saw the ball delivery from the Kha'Zix. Clicks R, WE forward. actually able to deliver it well, but it just doesn't matter. The damage from the Hui actually came out exactly at the same time, and it was a big trade of life bars there. Joby now.
Push your luck here, IDF. You've knocked down so many structures. Masuf got an inhibitor down in the mid lane. As 30 seconds after Baron spawns, there's just nowhere to go if you're the winning formula. And yes, everybody at home, I know this exact point that I made when we saw this happen in game number 2, but it's a lot worse off this time.
Yeah, you have some good pick tools, but you really have to play these fights to perfection. As I said, Kha'Zix not doing you any favors at this point. Didn't get snowballed quite enough, I'd say. You really need to be maybe 5-6 kills on the board and at your third item on your way at least at this point. To at least find some good value to be able to one-shot Ashe on backline, but at least the ball delivery is working out as intended. But, you know, it still makes me think, like, you could just pick Vi, for instance, and then suddenly you have a lot more interrupts. But here we go again.
Here we go. Channeled early. Boy, do they make it look fluid. You Shockwave before the jump in for Zohair. They pick off Kami. They give him a Suf to teleport in as well. And he should not be able to chase anybody else down. As I say that, though, gets the claw on to Helper. No rallies on this Mordekaiser. Nature's Grasp. Ibion Godly gonna gobble up Helper. Gets pulled into the Death Realm to a 1v1. And Helper does not want to be a part of, and certainly does not win. Certainly buying a lot of time. Still survives in the Death Realm. Able to get the Magnet Storm off to hold some of the IDF members in place. Bottleneck into this tiny choke point. Masuf having to flash away from Alpha Day. Everybody involved in the fight, but only a pair of kills going down.
Yeah, Drag is coming back up. IDF now sitting with 2 on the board, so they do have advantage there. Baron is also on the table, but with how much vision, you know, IDF's been generating, I feel like they really have a good chokehold on this game, and I gotta afford it to the Maokai. That is just what he does. Alpha Day now trying to find Joby before this drag comes up, but gets rooted up.
He's trying to stall. His team is not far away. They got 5 up, goes into the all-out, gets a lot squishier. The Ash Arrow is going to zone the rest of the team. What a channel from Kami right down that corridor. Nobody could have made it through the arrow, but here's Zohair. 3-man Shockwave onto that backline. The Crescent Guard is just a bit too late. They already lose heals. Crash down combo through onto Joby, and now it's Arcadius that steps up and starts rearing down on the rest of IDF. We are once again topsy-turvy in this series. Just when you think one team has an edge, the other squad slams the door home, and this time, it's the winning formula. Give them the ace.
Oh, I've seen this story before. I'm definitely very, very scared here for IDF. I mean, that does close the gold a lot. They just got reeled back about 4K gold. And now they're going to get the Drake too, so they're on their own way towards this soul. They won't have any foothold for actually getting this Baron, but who knows? Maybe Kha'Zix is the ultimate ball delivery, only rivaled by potentially Shaco.
Shaco. I think I'd be refused to cast if I see that.
The
Disgusting
Shaco Orianna, it is
drafted.
actually gross. I hate that combo. Because Kha'Zix, at least you'll see him for like half a second when he ease in. But Shaco, it's like, oh, he's already on me. I'm dead. You know? So, not going to see that, but they're going to start the Baron. Teal's going to take a bit of damage. Pretty surprising to see that. They want to force it out while they don't have the combo, but little do they know, the Orianna already back online with that Shockwave. So they could look for it yet again. Zohair opting for the W evolve second. Pretty classic there. Definitely helped out by the fact that you do have so much extra speed from Symbiotic Souls, which surely will be completed quite soon.
The intriguing part about the combo is, too, that Quality Player is on a Seraph's and Needlessly Large Rod. There is not a lot in the Orianna damage department yet, because Quality Player is 0-1 and 11.
Yeah.
Shockwave could get even more deadly as this game goes on. And IDF, the first attempt at baiting in a Baron play is snuffed out. They're going to go for a pick with the Ash Arrow, put it on to Alpha Day. Very, very tanky Cassante, and he picks Ibion Godly to get pulled into the meat grinder. There's the Ori Shockwave with the Rel Crashdown, and it's just pandemonium, but it's the winning formula that calculate correctly once more. The Wombo we doubted is on fire as they get 4 more kills right in front of Baron.
Now I have to go back to game 2 where IDF figured out how to play kind of disengage and kind of wait out a lot of these big cooldowns, and that was what was the difference maker in that one. And now they're seeing the same thing. Big cooldowns that TWF knows how to use very well. You have to burn them appropriately before you commit for a full engage. And I would say even TWF didn't play that well. Arcadius actually got caught by the grasping roots from the Maokai, and that actually did put him in a terrible position, but the shockwave came through at the right time since they wanted to capitalize on it, and somehow, some way, TWF finds themselves equal in kills and only 3.5k gold down.
A terrible time for a pause too, right? Just total tempo killer. Even kills, even Drakes. Still a sizable gold lead though for IDF, and you can see the real reason why I love the comeback. I want the game 5. Everybody wants a game 5. Maybe not everybody, considering how much later it is for some of those East Coast fans. But if you look at the map, right, it's the turret discrepancy. IDF have knocked down 7 of them, and the wave state's just always in their favor with no turrets down. It's really limiting how much the winning formula can get on the map after they've won these back-to-back fights.
Yeah, especially because, you know, you get that fight win, you'd expect Baron, right? But unfortunately, they have to go clear the top and the bot wave. They don't have the positional advantage to be able to take the Baron, especially if Ashe is still up, you know, still threatening at this point, just because that is a lot of damage. And if someone gets low because of the Baron, since Alpha Day probably won't be there immediately, we'll have to TP in. You can't just take the Baron for free, so IDF needs to really steady the ship here. They need to figure out, okay, we have the Hui, we have Mordekaiser. So basically, all we need to do is somehow survive this Orianna Shockwave combo, and most likely we're fine. And if this pause is actually, you know, coming through, I know there's some taboo about this, but if they're speaking during the pause, they should be able to figure out a pretty good game plan.
Hey, I mean, there's other esports titles that have tactical pauses ingrained into their system. Kind of
This one though,
for me.
for good
Not this
reason,
one.
not this one.
Yeah, that's a good point, nonetheless. No word. I haven't heard word exactly on the reason for the pause just yet, but definitely taking some time. If it is a tech issue, like, we got to get it figured out. Well,
Yeah.
there should be no tech interference with the series, with the stakes that we are in, because on one hand, with how much of the map IDF have already really opened up, with the mites that they have, if they find a fight win at this late stage of the game, convincing enough, I think they're champions. And the winning formula, at this rate, a good fight win, a Baron, they open the map up, and game 5 becomes a lot more of a reality. This is the critical juncture so far as this series has evolved.
Yeah, I mean, if I think about it really, I think TWF has a good chance of taking this one. They have the Cassante that they love to rely on. They have the Rel as well that they could just slap the ball on, but they also have the surprise engage from the Kazakhs. And unless IDF really figure it out during this pause, maybe they're following rules and they don't talk during pause, okay? But if they all think about it for a little bit, I believe that they can come to the conclusion we need to play these fights much slower, much more disengaged. If we don't have flashes on our biggest carries, do not take the fight. That's how you end up losing these ones. So that's the kind of things that if I was IDF, that's what goes through your mind. That if Hui doesn't have flash, if Ashe doesn't have flash, do not commit to this fight, or else this Kha'Zix is guaranteed to make the engage. Pretty much every single time, unless Mordekaiser somehow catches the bug out of midair.
Just snags him.
Yeah, just snags him straight out. We're getting a little bit of spectator delay, but looks like we're back in finally. A little bit of DC from, I believe, Helper. So should be resolved as of now as we wait for the game to catch up. I love League Spectator client.
Hey, all I'm saying, you see some of the leaks about 2025, maybe we're getting saved.
My biggest talking point is always that at least League has a replay system. Imagine not having a replay system 4 years after your game's released. Valorant.
Yeah, that's crazy. Valorant. I mean, even like the early days of Counter-Strike Global Offensive on CS2, there was a replay system available.
Yep.
It wasn't.
Exactly.
It was ugly as hell. Right?
And you know what? You know what even makes people even. Oh, never mind. I be ungodly.
How do you get away with that face check? That's incredible.
Just free real estate, I guess. I will say, I was about to say, Valorant Mobile came out with a replay system, so just letting all the Valorant players know that they should be salty.
Mid-tier 1, marked for demise by the winning formula. This is what we talked about. It's hard, even with their momentum, their ability to get these combos off. It's really been because IDF has walked into treacherous territory, but without lanes pushing in their favor ever. I mean, you can look at the side lanes now. It's not even like they've really designated a ton of, or IDF has designated teals to really stick towards these sides. It's the turrets bouncing these waves. It's funneling the winning formula. And like you talked about, if IDF just play this game a whole lot slower, they should be able to avoid the catastrophe. Lightning can't strike 3 times, right?
Yeah, no way, right? They are going to be looking for something in the mid lane, but with all the players of IDF just backing, they're going to call it off. They are pinging Baron. They have no vision on that side of the map, so they don't actually have a good idea of whether or not Quay did it. So they're going to put it on Blue Trinket. They know that the Baron has not been started, and seeing Quay in mid, they know everyone just went for a reset. Should have some good time to just go for their own, as the Dragon does come up in 55 seconds. It will be Infernal Soul, so a lot more damage is available on the table. As I'm seeing some pings from IDF onto the Baron, maybe to just clear out the ward, so maybe they can threaten a potential look there. Zohair has the ball on him.
He wants it. He's salivating. I can see it.
Yeah, has the symbiotic souls complete now.
Yep, Alpha Day. Tanky Cassante on the front line can play his own game for a little bit. Let's see if we have a bit more patience from IDF. Don't walk in near Fog with Zohair, but this time the combo was interrupted. It only lands on Masuf, and Kami's able to flash away. They dodge the Ori Kha'Zix combo this time. How can they front to back? So far, they're trying to burn through Alpha Day. They have Helper down with the Spiraling Despair. They'll get through the Drell for now, and that allows Kami to step back up, Joby to run wild. Mid lane is wide open. Could this be the dagger in the hearts of the winning formula? It's going to have to be Alpha Day, Zohair, and Arceus to make the stand as the inhibitor soon to fall.
A little bit of respite. They're not going to go for the end here. They aren't confident in it. Zohair trying to stall them from going towards this Drake immediately. Wants to at least get some players in position. Quality Player and Alpha Day both have TP to maybe join in this fight. They have that ward towards mid that they could lean on. And also one on the flank as well. Zohair in the area, wants to find it. Running so fast as well, but looks like they're going to be able to secure this Drake.
Right in the nick of time. Alpha Day does expend teleport to get down there for a potential contest. So a bit of a blown teleport. And with supers now pouring in the mid wave, that map control conversation becomes even dicier for the winning formula.
Yeah, Maokai able to just put the saplings down. You know, it's rare you catch a Maokai on a face check, as they did that one time. Alpha Day now just trying to clear out some of this vision. W away, so now doesn't have the protection of that unstoppable.
Gets feared up. Way damage just tickles him. Cassante moment.
Zohair does have the combo now with Quality Player yet again back in their pocket. Maybe just looking for helper, a bit more consistent. There are no flash. There is no flash on Ash in particular. Way.
Oh, arrows plus the uprights. That's the first turret taken for the winning formula, by the way, in this game at 30 minutes.
But that's the turret you want to take. The mid lane turret does open up the map a lot, allows you to play for a lot more extended fights. You can actually go for a bit more of a chase when the mid lane turret is down. They are going to clear up the vision in the Baron pit, but just go for a recall. They could not find an engage before the resets here, and they want to match the gold as best as they can. 5k, 4k. Down still for TWF, but it really all does rely and hinge on this Ori Kha'Zix combo. There is one deep flank ward, but really only quality player can actually take advantage of that, and they're going to start up the Baron.
Beyond Godly trying to set up as the protector, the usher into Club Baron. Spotted out with a bit of a scrying orb. Does Zohair have a steal in him? Kha'Zix can get in, undisputed, jumps in, 71 HP, but it's Joby that grabs the Baron, and Zohair's trapped in a 1v1 with Masuf. Doesn't have the flash, doesn't have the leap. Down goes Zohair. Main advantage for IDF, and they may just scale up to run down mid lane and end this whole thing.
Yeah, they're looking to actually push out. I will say they don't have the shockwave for at least 45 seconds here. And that could be the window that they end up losing the game here. Alpha Day still very tanky, so that theoretically they should be able to tank out. Ash Arrow gonna go wide.
Arrow wide. Iridescent Dawn frozen on the cusp of the unthinkable. From 3rd seed to the championship title, shutting down the Titans of the Vanquisher League, and they'll start it with Alpha Day, who's Smiling Despair should take him down. Tank dropped, mites available, the wave is very low, but they're gonna TP onto the last caster minion. Zohair back in, Shockwave available, Helper gonna start the combo. They need to go for the damage with the Ori Kha'Zix to get towards those carries. Arcadis cannot get far back enough without that killer instinct. IDF want to play it slow. They don't want to risk throwing it all away, and they'll just take a reset.
Yeah, they knew the shockwave timer was just about up. They have to go for the reset. They at least secure the Baron. They have 1 minute 30 left on that. And that means K'Sante is going to be able to come back into this one. And it's going to be another 5v5. A tale as old as time at this point. And they're just going to clear up all these waves. They need to get some deep vision to make sure that they are able to at least contest when this next Drake does come out in 1 minute 30. Because this will be IDF's soul potentially. And if you want to prevent the game from going the opposite way, you might just need to risk it.
Oh, Zohair, the face check. Will it end up costing him? He hops over the wall, wrong side though. Trying to use the invis to dance around. He's doing a good job stalling, commits the flash, but it's Zohair that will be picked off just like over at the Baron pit, and we're gonna rerun the same mid push for IDF to look for it all.
Yeah, they're gonna go for it again. They still have a ball delivery with the Rel here. Ash Arrow goes wide yet again. Quality player needs to go back for some mana. K'Sante is forced to TP back. At least pushed out the top wave, so that's not going to be an issue. Here we go.
Here we go. One Nexus turret, 4 members, and a dream of Game 5. They'll use Helper to go for the Shockwave combo. Get some really solid damage down. Teals drops first, and now it's Arcadis that's jumping into the backline. They don't need the Kha'Zix this time. They're going to get it done with a new Orianna Shockwave combination. Just when you thought we were at the witching hour, the winning formula have another gear to shift into.
Oh, you have to play so careful if you are playing against Orianna, and they don't respect it. They get caught out. 3 players get shockwaved, and just like that, Arcadius dives in, finds the damage, and now they're going to be able to shove out towards mid. They should be able to at least claim up an inhibitor. If I had to assume, actually, they might just peel off towards that Drake after this first turret does go down. That is going to be another swing back towards TWF, despite how doomed it looked.
Down a man. Facing Baron waves, mites. The winning formula still find these angles. It's just been the entire story of this series. We have flip-flopped as much as a seesaw on the world's most popular playground.
Yeah, I call out the Rel combination there with the Magnet Storm, and it goes through immediately. Joby and Hui, especially way too close, gets Shockwave grabbed up immediately, takes the damage down, and now there's really a lot less threat onto this K'Sante, and just gets a free hit with Arcadius diving in. Nice Zhonya's usage there to prevent any potential kind of trade kill there that could have thwarted a lot of the push afterwards and potentially even the drag. So very good awareness there from Arcadius, and that's going to put them back in position to at least contest here for this next Baron. 2 minutes on the timer, and they still have this combo ready and waiting. Quality player wants to put it onto Zohair.
Zohair, Kami's dead. There's no way. Wow. He just blinked out of existence. And the
Is that the pick they need?
Form.
Is that going to be the end? I mean, they definitely have a good opportunity. Ash, one of the strongest players on that team. They need to find Hui to be able to get rid of this wave clear.
IDF are really trying to play towards those side lanes that they're strong in. Masuf is will finally actually, no, he's in a 1v1 with Alpha Day, so he's not resetting. He wants to see if he can grab an advantage towards that bot side. As IDF lose their middle inhibitor. And there is Masuf, finds that kill, shut down onto Alpha Day. Now it is immediately a 4 versus 4 across the map, but nothing really to play for. So both teams shouldn't risk overextending here. Zohair is looking for a combo, but the Orianna Shockwave is not available just yet. Nature's Grasp going to spot out multiple members of the winning formula. They have not yet to reset. They are looking for blood. They realize the tempo is in their hands, and they cannot relinquish it because one misstep means the series is over, but the Shockwave comes up just in time, and they found TES of all people, Golden Gad.
Their wave clear's gone, but on the bot side, Masuf is pushing. That is a very threatening Mordekaiser on that side, but they've cut the waves here. They have at least one wave to play with. They're forcing out the recalls here from the Maokai and the Xin Zhao. Kha'Zix trying to match the Mordekaiser on the top bot side, and they're just going to go for a reset. They don't want to deal with it. They want to go for an extended chase onto the Mordekaiser, which should translate beautifully into the Baron if Masuf goes down.
Masuf, mere seconds away from getting the Death Realm back up. He's trying to teleport out. Helper does not get the stun. What a game-saving TP. Sure, he won't be able to teleport back towards Baron, but we should have 5v5 for it with his escape.
Yeah, Tommy, no flash critically coming up in this next fight. At least TES has it to actually be able to contest this Baron. It is critical. Maybe Kami goes down and they'll have enough damage in the extended fight, but I really think you need both of these carries to have their flash, so maybe some non-committal fight engages to try and burn some of those big cooldowns out of TWF will be the answer here. They do put down some vision, but it looks like the vision line is going to be secure here for IDF at the very least. And yeah, it's really coming down to the wire at this point.
And this isn't even for all of it, right? We've been on broadcast for hours. It's game 4. The winning formula could force us to another match that will surely decide it all. But that doesn't take away from the stakes for IDF, especially when all eyes drift towards the Baron pit once more.
There's a 1v1 on the bot side. Looks like Alpha Day is going to go down again.
Masuf doesn't have teleport, so it will just be a true 4-on-4. But he's going to start getting that side wave pressure again and again.
Thing is, it doesn't really matter if Alpha Day is dead. If they find a good shockwave combo, this could definitely still be a one fight here.
Zohair has the spell shield to at least tank maybe one stun as he goes in.
He has flash now.
If you're IDF, don't you just buy time for Masuf? Alpha Day's down for 30 more seconds. He can get a wave right up to those Nexus turrets.
Yeah, for sure. They are playing a lot more stally. This is what Hui is good at. A lot of long-range poke and non-committal options.
Oh, no.
They're looking for it.
Oh, the timing. They started the Baron at the wrong opportunity with their team split, and TES is picked off first. Quality player does get jumped on by Joby. Down goes Helper. In comes Arcadius, but the Crescent Guard blocks a ton of the damage. He goes into the stasis after finding one kill. It's Joby, and Masuf is finally swung over, and they're going to jump Arcadius for the shutdown. It's only Zohair. Death timers are over 50 seconds, but Alpha Day is back on the Rift, and Zohair should be able to stall. Can he get his recall off? It's paramount to keeping the series alive for the winning formula.
Going to be able to get this recall off. Actually cancels it for just a second. Not sure if he wanted to look for the Maokai on the back end, or maybe even
Dragon.
stop the wave. No, he's worried about the end. He needs to go back. Cassante cannot hold out against these three members.
We're going full melee, folks, for it all. Masuf looking to tank the turret up by himself, gets Zohair's cleanse down. Taking a ton of turret shots as the other two members for IDF single out Alpha Day, who's taking no damage. Helper is back up. Quality player and Arcadius are not far behind, but the Nexus turrets are down. The Nexus is exposed, but Masuf is very low as Alpha Day goes into the all-out. Joby is looking to go for it all by himself, whacking the Nexus, but he doesn't have enough juice in the tank. The Nexus at about a quarter HP, but the winning formula survive another base stand.
They will lose the dragon as recompense, however, and that is definitely still extremely influential. They are actually going to start looking for Relas in the area.
Oh, it's gone. Infernal Soul at 40 minutes in the hands of IDF.
Yeah, Yeah, no flank wards. There's one towards mid, but it looks like it's going to die soon. They're looking for the long chase. Kami.
Wait, if they stop these backs, the mid lane is wide open. There's supers pouring in on both sides. But they're not able to cut off Kami. Teals, though, same can't be said for him. He's going to die, try and trade out Helper. Won't get it with the Spiraling Despair. And look who's in their base.
Kami looking for it. Has to burn flash. That's big.
Big flash, they just grasp out. Joby and Masuf are up in mere seconds, but the winning formula, they want to go for it all here, teleporting in, but I feel like it's too late because the top jungle is back up. They gambled for it all, and it's going to burn them in the Nexus turret's might. Down goes Helper. Next to fall should be Alpha Day. Teleport channel from Masuf. He's got a ward. He's just going to sprint straight towards the Nexus. The recalls, are they going to be in time? Arcadis gets shut down. Quality player does have Zohair back there. But can Masuf just do it all on his own? He's ignoring everybody. He's trying to hit the Nexus torch. He pulls quality player into the Death Realm. Masuf is going to do it. He's going to win the championship for Iridescent Dawn Frozen.
Oh, you ulted the Orianna. Orianna doesn't have enough damage to take down the Mordekaiser. And in the Death Realm, at the very end of it all, Masuf, MVP of this best of 5, in my opinion, really showing a carry performance on that top side, finds the final hits on the Nexus and closes out one of the craziest series I've ever casted.
We had everything. We had base races, giga throws, Elder,
So many giga
Barons,
throws.
backdoors to close it out. And I'm with you. Masuf, my MVP. I think we'll get to talk with somebody at some point, but for now, we can all rest and see the Cinderella story completed. The 3rd seed from Group A. They got smacked by the winning formula in the early beginnings of this season, but they sub in Teals, Golden Gad, and what a torrential run they went on. I think they only dropped 2 games this entire time.
Yeah, and that's just very impressive here for IDF. They weren't super convincing. It was dirty, you know, but they made it happen, and that's what really counts. And some of their comps definitely, they figured out an identity. We saw game 1, and I was like, oh, I'm extremely worried here for IDF. And then game 2 happens, and boom, reversal on the momentum there. TWF looked lost in game 3, and yeah, it really showed in game 4. Like, they made the adaptations. I talked about how they needed to slow it down. They needed to not succumb to all these big, you know, shockwave combos, and they do end up slowing it down just enough to be able to quell that fear of maybe the championship slipping away from them. Instead, they walk away Vanquisher League champions.
I've referenced it so many times, but it's important to really soak in where were we at? Where we were at halfway through game 2. The winning formula, they battled an absolute gruel fest of 40, I think it was 43 minutes. They grabbed the game 1 win. They sprint out to the biggest early lead of this entire series, knocking down inhibitor turrets with an 8k gold lead before Baron even spawns. And from that point, something awoke in IDF. Maybe it was through Masuf's Gwen just being unstoppable, woke up the team, and they rattle off 3. I don't want to call it straight games. It is straight, but it was a windy path to get there to crown themselves champions. I misspoke. There will be an awesome video talking to the winners that will be posted later. So, Golden Gad, it's been. I can't do the math since we switched the streams over, but I would assume we've been here at least 4 hours, 4.5 hours. I'm going to give you the floor.
4.5 at least.
4.5. Yeah.
5 o'clock was our call time here for today, and here we are, 9:30, of course, in the West Coast. I will say, at least for the, I hope that was a good conclusion to Titan Esports here in 2024. But no, they will be back, including I should be back. Slayer should be back, I hope.
Yep.
I'd love to continue casting with you. You've been awesome, buddy. I mean, Vanquisher League would not be the same without you and Britty helping me out as a color on the play-by-play side. So shout out there. And yeah, if you want to sign up for the leagues, I think they're still open as of this point right now.
Exactly.
So definitely check it out. It is a blast trying to play with your friends or even just building a squad off of how you kind of vibe around. And you could see Cinderella stories can happen. Your league doesn't go as planned, but guess what? IDF takes the win despite it all. So
It's been an absolute pleasure with you, Golden Gat, as well. Just super easy synergy off the bat. Glad that we got to bring it home together on the grand finals. Big shout out to the battery master himself, Chris, our
Master,
producer.
it took him like 6 hours today. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Chris got in here. We had a super sub producer come across as well for Sheridan. Awesome color casting with you as well. Got in for the observing. I know they are off to write a paper that they had to write. So we'll just close out the show. You heard Golden Gad talk about signups. 2025 is going to be a movie, folks, and we hope to see you there for each and every episode. For myself, Chris, Golden Gad, and myself, I already said that on the broadcast. This will close out not only the Vanquisher League, but Titan Esports in 2024. One more big shout out goes to Iridescent Dawn Frozen, your Vanquisher League champions. We'll see you all in the new year.